Greetings, everyone. This is Chameleon Law coming to you to talk to you about TPS. TPS stands for Temporary Protected Status, and I'm here to talk to you about it today and what's been going on in the news. There were some changes that occurred to TPS, and I'll get into that in a second. I just wanted to explain to you a little bit about the background and what's going on. So what is TPS? TPS stands for Temporary Protected Status, and it was something that TPS is a status that was given by the Department of Homeland Security, and they gave it to people who are already in the United States, who are here during, who cannot go back to their country because some natural disaster occurred, such as an earthquake or hurricane, or their country has some type of ongoing civil war or armed conflict. So what that basically means is if a person was from another country, they were in the United States, and while they were in the United States, something happened in their country, a major disaster, warfare, armed conflict, and they could not return to their country because of these things. The U.S. Has designated certain countries as TPS countries in which these people from these countries can go ahead and apply for this protection and the status. And some examples of that are Haiti. So in 2010, there was a major earthquake that rocked Haiti, and which killed hundreds of thousands of people. And as a result, the people who were in the U.S. At the time, the U.S. government decided to give those people TPS. Other examples are El Salvador in 2001. People from there was a major earthquake in El Salvador, and it was the same circumstance. At that time, they were given TPS. Another major example would be Syria. There's a lot of conflicts in Syria, and Syria was also designated not for a major, not for an earthquake or a hurricane, but for their armed conflict and the wars and things going on in their country. So those are just some of the examples of why TPS would be given to certain countries. And throughout TPS's history, there's been many countries that were granted TPS, and once the country's conditions got better, those people, TPS ended, and those people could go back to their country. Some of the little history for the past couple of years of what's been going on with TPS. So TPS, because there are countries going in and out of TPS, their start time and end time is different, right? So someone's TPS, temporary protected status, can expire, and the government can decide, U.S. government can decide to extend TPS to those people again, or to say that, TPS, their country, is better now, and those people can go back to their country. And every year, there's different countries that are expiring, that determination has to be made. In 2017, our current administration decided not to renew TPS for many countries. At that time, there was a lot of people that were upset. Around the same time, just a couple months later, in early 2018, I believe in January, our current administration made a comment talking about some of these countries and their needing protection, and referred to these countries as shithole countries, which caused major controversy. And as a result, at the same time, by canceling TPS for these countries, people doubted the motive for the reasoning why the cancellation was actually occurring. There was people who were protesting and saying that the countries that they were ending TPS for were actually not even better. And so they were questioning why TPS was ending. So anyway, as a result, there was several lawsuits when our current administration attempted to end TPS, which caused an injunction. The courts caused TPS, to be halted, the ending of TPS, while the case was further litigated. So that brings us up to recently, about 10 days ago, somewhere around there, 9 days ago, TPS a federal judge in the Ninth Circuit stated that the Trump administration can go ahead and continue on with TPS. Basically saying that the Trump administration had were within their rights to end TPS for 4 specific countries, and those are El Salvador, Sudan, Nicaragua, and Haiti. So that's where we're currently at. There was a lot of people who are worried and obviously have lots of questions. Does that mean those people from those countries, does that mean TPS, that court case came out about 9 days ago, does that mean they're going to be deported right away? No. More than likely the case will be appealed. Whether that happens or not, we have to see. And then once, if TPS is determined, the administration can move forward. Each country has their own agreement with the U.S. government. So some countries will have to leave within 120 days of the order. Other countries have until, I believe, 365 days from the order. It just depends on what country. There are actually right now about, I think it's 10 or 11 countries that have TPS. So it's not just those 4 countries. And there are different things going on with those countries. Like I said, there was multiple lawsuits regarding the ending of TPS. But just to let you know what countries currently have TPS, because oftentimes I think people only focus on just a few countries, but not the actual list. So El Salvador, I mentioned, Haiti has TPS. El Salvador has TPS, Haiti has TPS, Honduras has TPS, Nepal has TPS, Nicaragua has TPS, Somalia has TPS, Sudan has TPS, South Sudan has TPS, Syria has TPS, and Yemen has TPS currently. And just one last common question people often ask for TPS is one of the things we talked about being deported right away, but like, why should TPS people be allowed to stay? There are many reasons. It's very controversial. Yes, TPS is said temporary protected status, but many TPS workers, one of the benefits of getting on TPS and being allowed to have TPS is that you get work authorization, and most people on TPS are working. Many of the workers of TPS are construction workers, they're childcare workers, they're food workers, they're grocery workers. They are our essential workers. If these people are, forced to leave, it would have an impact on our economy. Not to mention, there's currently around 400,000 people who have TPS, and of those 400,000 people that have TPS, they have over 270,000 U.S. born children. So the question now becomes, what happens to those children if TPS is, if people are forced to leave, not from just those 4 countries, but from, if TPS program is ended, completely, what happens to those children? Also, a lot of these countries that they're going back to, cannot absorb, thousands and thousands of people. Remember, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're having difficulties maintaining our own, getting testing. Many parts of the country are having difficulties with testing, having enough tests, etc., getting results from tests. And imagine a lot of these countries are not in a position to even test their current citizens, let alone to absorb thousands of people who come back to the country and may have specific needs. So this is a complicated issue. I'm not saying I have the right or wrong answer. So just remember, this video is for information purposes only. But I just wanted to give you an update at what's going on in TPS right now. Have a nice night. Bye.